Let's go now to KPRC's Robert Arnold, who's in Galveston on the seawall there. And the latest that we heard, Robert, 100 people on a priority list to be rescued there today, people who had decided to stay or who got caught off guard by the storm. Okay, I'm going to interrupt here because apparently we have an issue. We are seeing this happen throughout the morning, that the weather from Hurricane Ike is still interfering with our ability to get a strong, clear satellite signal to bring you those live shots. We're expecting that, or we're listening to it now? Okay, we're expecting a 3 p.m. news conference from Galveston, Texas, where they're expecting to alert us. But when I talked to the public information officer earlier, she said two big concerns. That is getting those folks on Galveston Island evacuated, the folks who have called in throughout the night asking to be rescued, and it wasn't until the winds died down that they were able to do so. Let's go back to Robert Arnold now, who works for NBC affiliate KPRC on Galveston. Apparently we got your signal worked out there, Robert. We were talking a little bit about those folks who needed to be rescued. Is it now safe for the emergency crews to be out?
Yes, it is. That happened about 2 hours ago. The winds died down enough. We saw all the police officers, all the firefighters start going throughout the city, scouring. One of their first priorities, as you were talking about, were people that got calls from help. They were getting calls from help from at the height of the storm, but they could not go out and rescue them. So those were the first areas they were going in. Other officers, other firefighters have just started going neighborhood by neighborhood, checking on all those who stayed. We were following some firefighters who would actually go to these first floor homes where you could see the water had gone into those homes. They were going into doors, going through windows, checking to make sure that no one was trapped in that area. Let me explain where we are in the destruction you're seeing behind me. We are on Seawall Boulevard. Right on the other side is going to be the Gulf of Mexico. Everything that you are seeing here was actually on the Gulf, on a pier, on pylons. You're looking at the Balinese Room, a Hooters restaurant, a souvenir shop. What happened is that surge came through, mixed with the wind, and it literally lifted all of these businesses out of the Gulf and smashed them here onto Seawall Boulevard, the main road running parallel through Galveston Island. This is an absolute amazing amount of destruction, and I'll give you a little perspective. The Balinese Room is actually considered a historic landmark in this area. It's been around since the days of Frank Sinatra, and the people who've lived here and know this are heartbroken to see that destroyed. One of the other things that we have seen coming through this area is the way it whipped through. It literally took these like dominoes. The one went and it took the others with it, and that's why it's all slammed here up against the businesses on the other side of the Gulf. Let me show you over here too. We have this hotel. This is the flagship hotel, only hotel entirely built on water. The ramp that goes from Seawall Boulevard onto the flagship crashed. What you had such amazing waves crashing in this area for more than 24 hours. Some of those waves would hit the seawall and cascade 2 stories high, really at the height of Ike, and that just couldn't handle it. Now, there are actually people in that hotel. We were talking with police. They got over there. They talked to the manager. The people there are okay. You can actually see where the wind ripped entire chunks out of the facade of that hotel. But again, we're told the people there are okay. So as crews now are going neighborhood by neighborhood, trying to get first to those who called for help during the height of the storm, as well as making sure no one else is trapped and couldn't call for help, they're also trying to put together a plan to clean up the debris. Water has been shut off for almost all parts of the island. They did that fairly early on because they were getting concerned about seawater contamination. That water will not come back on until they're able to do bacterial contamination tests to make sure it's safe. It's going to be a very long process to clean up the island, not to mention the fact trying to figure out how to even begin restoring power in this area. Back to you.
All right, Robert, thank you very much. And just a reminder for folks who live in Galveston but are somewhere else right now, you will not be allowed to return to your city today. They have closed down the inbound traffic. They're only going to allow official vehicles into Galveston today, and you can see why. There's simply so much debris around that you probably could not get past it at any rate, and even if you could, you're going back to flooded homes and no power, and just the danger to residents at this point too high. They're saying they want you to wait until the all clear.